Welcome back, everyone. This will be my brand new Eternals 2 Marvel video. They just announced that the movie's actually in active development. They're actually making the movie. I'll explain when it's probably going to come out because we know what all of Marvel Phase 5 and Marvel Phase 6 are going to be for the most part. You've probably seen the clip going around because Patton Oswalt basically just revealed the news. Probably wasn't supposed to do that. Kevin Feige probably preparing all the Marvel snipers to get him. But if you're brand new to the channel, be sure to subscribe to get all the videos. She-Hulk is starting really soon. I'll be doing videos for all the episodes, just like I do for all the other Marvel Disney Plus series. There's going to be a bunch of cameos. Daredevil, Wong, Abomination, just the beginning of it. But recently, you all probably saw on your feeds, Patton Oswalt appeared on Good Morning America and revealed that Marvel has already started working on Eternals 2. Apparently, they've been working on it for a while. And even though all reports said that Marvel is going to be bringing back both Harry Styles' Star Fox and his Pip the Troll, not just in Eternals 2, but in other Marvel projects as well, he said that he's hoping that they bring him back in the future, like hoping to see the adventures of Pip the Troll and Star Fox. Like, of course they're going to bring those characters back. This is the clip of him talking about that.
So, Patton, there's word out there that you might be speaking of the metaverse, part of the Marvel Universe, along with Harry Styles.
Oh, well, yeah, there's Harry Styles and I are in a little post-credit sequence in the Eternals. I play Pip the Troll. He plays Star Fox,
right.
Thanos' brother. It's actually, Al, it's interesting, in early issues of the comic, see, Star Fox originally, when he first appeared, he was...
Here we go. Come back, come back to me.
They have announced there's going to be an Eternals sequel. Chloe Zhao is going to direct it, so hopefully there will be more adventures of Star Fox and Pip.
This is a relatively new clip, so I did think it was kind of weird that the Good Morning America people were talking to him about being in Eternals when that happened so long ago. Like, yes, we all know that he was in Eternals as Pip the Troll. I think it's more surprising that he's walking around now. There haven't been any repercussions from Kevin Feige and the Marvel snipers. We already know what most of the plot of Eternals 2 is going to be. They set up some very clear character arcs for all the majors, like the Eternals themselves, Star Fox and Pip the Troll, teasing all the other groups of Eternals that are out there on other planets currently that they plan on freeing from Arishem the Judge and the other Celestials' control, and rescuing all the Earth-based Eternals from the Celestials' World Forge. Along with Kit Harington's Dane Whitman becoming full-on Black Knight, taking up the Ebony Blade, and more big Marvel crossovers like the Blade crossover in the post-credit scene. I'll get into all that in a second too, because we know where some of those characters were going to show up, and like they were going to have Kit Harington's Black Knight come back during Moon Knight, so like there were already a lot of crossovers planned in other Marvel projects. Marvel also has the Midnight Suns that it sounds like they're working on too. Also, a lot of people are still asking how Harry Styles Star Fox can be the brother of Thanos in the MCU, given what they did with the Eternals backstory in the MCU in that movie, in the origins of all their characters. Don't worry, I'll explain that too. It is different from the comics, but it's not quite as complicated as it sounds. Thanos was an Eternal from the planet Titan as part of Star Fox's group. Like currently, Star Fox is one of the other only survivors of the planet Titan, and he was the prime Eternal of their group, like the leader of the Eternals when the planet was destroyed. But just in terms of actual release date, like when are they actually going to drop Eternals 2? Marvel just announced all their Phase 5, most of their Marvel Phase 6 schedules. There was some animated series that they left off of the Phase 5 and Phase 6 schedules that we know are happening, but Marvel Phase 5 is booked solid pretty much. Like they're not going to fit any more movies into that. Which just confirms that Eternals 2 isn't going to happen at least until Marvel Phase 6 and probably not till Marvel Phase 7, and I'll explain why. Because we know what most of these undated mystery movies are going to be, and most of them are already filled up. We got Armor Wars that we know is coming in Phase 6 now. Yes, they are still making Armor Wars. That's why they didn't talk about it during the panel, because there were so many mystery dates here. They're just saving that for later announcements. They have the Wonder Man series that they just announced. There's an Okoye series. There's also a separate Wakanda Disney Plus series about a different thing. Then there's a Nova series that they're working on. Yes, there is a new Nova project that they're working on. There's the Deadpool 3 movie, which Ryan Reynolds actually just started training for right now. There's the Shang-Chi 2 film with director Daniel Cretton, same guy that directed the first film. They also just confirmed that he's the person who's going to be directing Avengers 5, Kang Dynasty. But they will pick a different director for Avengers 6, Secret Wars. And the Russos said that currently it's not them. Like the Russos aren't planning on coming back at the moment, but they'll probably come back for another Marvel film at some point. There is also that X-Men film that's going to be on the schedule here. Kevin Feige said he didn't want to wait that long before doing another X-Men film, but they're just calling it The Mutants right now. There's also Spider-Man 4 with Tom Holland that we know that they're making. And then there's Doctor Strange 3, which they basically tease along with the incursions in Avengers Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars at the end of Doctor Strange 2. Even though they were using that post-credit scene with Clea to set up a lot of different movies, it was also primarily just meant to be a Doctor Strange 3 teaser. And even though some of those movies and Disney Plus series might get pushed to Marvel Phase 7, for the most part, that's enough to fill up all those mystery dates. So that's why Eternals 2 probably isn't going to come out till Marvel Phase 7 unless they bump one of the other big projects. It's also probably why they didn't talk about it at Comic-Con. Now, like, we know they're still making Armor Wars. They didn't talk about that at Comic-Con. Like I said, some of the mystery dates, they're probably just waiting to announce till later. Like, oh yeah, by the way, we said we were making this movie. This is when it's coming out during one of these mystery dates. Kevin Feige said Marvel usually works about 5 years ahead, so there's like a lot of projects that they know that they're working on that they just haven't announced yet. But like, we're probably going to see the new X-Men reboot movie before we see Eternals 2. And it being so far out is probably why Kit Harington, for example, signed on for the Jon Snow Game of Thrones sequel, which I just did a video for, so I'll post that in the links below. Because yes, it was confirmed, HBO is developing a Game of Thrones Jon Snow sequel. Kit Harington himself is the person who came up with the idea, and George R. R. Martin signed on for it. Apparently, he wants it this time. And the reason why he probably did that is probably because Marvel isn't planning on doing a Black Knight Disney Plus series at the moment, and if all of his future appearances for the next couple years are just going to be like cameos or smaller crossovers, then he has a lot of time on his hands, enough time to shoot a whole-ass Game of Thrones sequel series. Both his Black Knight and Cersei are supposed to be in Avengers 5 Kang Dynasty and Avengers 6 Secret Wars. We already kind of knew about that, but there might be more of the Eternals in Secret Wars and the Celestials for that matter, just because the movie is so big. We even saw new Celestials from the current Celestial host during Thor Love and Thunder, so like you'll start seeing some of these characters pop up all over the place. Like Wong is like the new Coulson of the MCU, just showing up in everybody's project now. There was a lot of really cool crossovers and stuff they were going to set up in Moon Knight that they didn't wind up doing because of big virus delays. But originally what was going to happen with the Black Knight on that series is because he works at a museum, they were going to tie him to a lot of the lore that they were explaining with Egyptian history during the series. Even though they didn't really get too much into it during the Eternals movie, like there wasn't that much of him during the first Eternals movie, part of the idea for using his character along with the Eternals is because they did that in the comics a long time ago. Like he had a relationship with Cersei's character and they both joined the Avengers for a while. But in the MCU, he's a historian, so he'd be reading about all these different major events across history, particularly across European history, and that was going to be the way to link him to the Eternals history in a lot of these different areas around the world, particularly around the history of MCU Camelot. Because like during the movie, she gives him a ring with his family's crest, which she probably got from the original Sir Percy Black Knight, who lived in Camelot. Merlin was a real character, like Camelot was a real place, King Arthur was a real person. The sword Excalibur was real. Thena even plays with it on the Domo, like they literally have it on their spaceship. The reason why Sprite mistakenly thinks it's the Ebony Blade is because Merlin actually created the Ebony Blade in Camelot and gave it to the original Sir Percy Black Knight. So that's how his family gained the curse of the Ebony Blade. But because Eternals 2 is so far off, I don't know if they're going to wait that long to actually mint him as full-on Black Knight with the armor with the Ebony Blade. It sounds like because of the Blade cameo scene in that post-credit scene, they were trying to set him up for a cameo in the Blade movie, which is going to be happening much sooner. And they were going to use that movie to do more supernatural stuff and start setting up more of the Midnight Suns, because apparently Marvel Studios just trademarked the name Midnight Suns for a project. But like I said, because all the mystery dates in Marvel Phase 6 are already kind of full up, it might be Marvel Phase 7 before they actually do legit Midnight Suns. We do have 18 episodes of that Daredevil Born Again series, so I'm hoping that they work in a lot of the street level, the smaller stuff during that series. I don't know if Black Knight would be material for that, or they try to put him in a more supernatural project. But you can let me know in the comments, which other movies and Disney Plus series do you want to see them use Black Knight in if he's not going to get his own Disney Plus series. Speaking of Game of Thrones and new episodes, the House of the Dragon prequel series to Game of Thrones is going to be starting really soon. It'll start right after She-Hulk starts. I'll be doing videos for all the She-Hulk episodes, for all the House of the Dragon episodes. Be sure to enable alerts for my channel so you don't miss any of that. Obviously, House of the Dragon doesn't have anything to do with the MCU. It's just the funny connection between Kit Harington's character going after a character named Cersei. Sounds very familiar. It's just all the meta Easter eggs and jokes crossing paths here because of what's happening with the actors and the characters, and a lot of similar names popping up. Jon Snow and Robb Stark in a completely different story universe going after a character named Cersei. There were a bunch of other big trailer videos that I'm working on, a bunch of other big announcements, so I'll try to do videos for all those as fast as possible. Everyone click here for my brand new Avengers 5 Kang Dynasty and Avengers 6 Secret Wars video, and click here for my brand new Ant-Man 3 teaser video. Thank you so much for watching. Everyone stay safe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.